Good morning, Chair, sisters, brothers, Manuel Cortes, Transport Salaried Staffs Association, Moving Composite 6. You know, like all of you, like each and every one of you, I believe that politics is about the battle of ideas. It's about what kind of world do we want. You know, when I was up in Scotland, knocking on doors, people told me that they were voting, but whether they were voting yes or no, it made no difference. They were voting for change. Frankly, they were sick to the back teeth of the status quo. And I believe that that is true as well across England and Wales. That's why I strongly believe that Ed, as Prime Minister, has got a once-in-a-generation, perhaps a once-in-a-lifetime change to confine the Thatcherite neoliberal consensus that is harming working people day in, day out, to confine it to where it belongs, the dustbin of history conference. You know, public ownership is not a crackpot left-wing idea. In the last decade, 86 cities across our planet have brought water into public ownership. In the United States, the cradle of neoliberalism, cities like Atlanta and Indianapolis have brought water into public ownership. The same is true of the great cities in Europe, of Berlin and Paris. And in what is the most successful economy in Europe, in Germany, since 2007, over 100 energy concessions have been brought into public ownership. I tell you, if it's good for the Americans, if it's good for the Germans, if it's good for the French, it must also be good for our people. You know, our union is committed to social justice, like each and every one of you in this hall. But I tell you, when you've got a country like ours, where so much power and wealth is concentrated in so few, social justice will remain a utopian dream, unless public ownership is part of our strategy. And that is why I want each and every one of you to join us, to join the millions upon millions of people in our country who are clamoring for public ownership of our railways so that we make it a reality. And whilst we're at it, let's bring water and energy too into public ownership. Let's follow America. Let's follow Germany. Let's follow what the French are doing. Conference. I want to finish on this. We are the party of change. We champion the politics of hope over the politics of fear. So let's send a vow from this hall, a strong vow to the British electorate, that our party will always put people before profit. I move. Thank you.
Thanks, Manuel, and I'm very proud to have you as a member of my constituency Labour Party. Now ask Darlington to second.
Chair, Helen Crombie, Darlington CLP, attending conference and second in the motion, first-time delegate. Can I just start by saying that it's such a hard act to follow, but then later on this afternoon, Ed has to follow me, so we'll see how that goes. Darlington, birthplace of the railways, knows first-hand about the success of the East Coast. We want to be part of its bright future in public hands. This year, a record $217 million in profits was paid back to taxpayers in what could be its final year as a state-owned company. That's an 8% increase on last year. By taking East Coast Main Line out of public ownership, the government will be passing the income the line raises into the pockets of private corporations, or ironically, the hands of state-owned rail companies of France and Germany, but not keeping the money here in the UK to be reinvested. The cash could and should be used to reduce rail fares and improve services for passengers. Conference, I believe that we need to reform the broken rail industry to put passengers and the public interest first. You wouldn't sell this family silver, but the Tories are determined to flog off East Coast to the highest bidder for the smallest price, just like the post office. I would urge the Labour Party to take the stand that East Coast must not be sold off and instead will be retained in public hands. Every year fares rise and every year there is public outcry. People paying too much for their travelling just to get to work. Yet by running the railways in public hands and doing so as each franchise expires over the next Parliament, the savings realised can be used to cut fares and help Labour win in marginal seats across the country. Public ownership is popular and it's a vote winner. Conference, I would urge you to back this motion. My MP Jenny Chapman is also fully supporting this motion, and there is the support of party members and the public across the country. Committing our party to always act in the public interest with the public sector running lines, which we know provides the best value for passengers and taxpayers. Instead of running our railways for private profit, they should be run for our interest, the people. We want an affordable, efficient, modern railway run in public hands. It cannot be right that French state-run companies, German state-run companies and state-Dutch companies can run our railways, but the successful model that East Coast demonstrates is not rolled out across the UK.
Can you wind up now, please?
Thank you. Conference, back this motion so that we have a rail policy that will help Labour win in Darlington and help Labour secure the majority we need to railroad the Tories out of government. Thank you, Conference.